Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss the comments that were made by Neve Campbell about a week ago or so. It's been about a week, and I want to share those with you now and some of my thoughts, having let those comments kind of sink in. And I wanted to make this video for you guys to hear your thoughts as well. Now, Neve has cleared some things up regarding how she was treated when negotiating for Scream 6 and the difference she experienced in the Scream 7 negotiations. Plus, she offers some insight into Scream 7 itself, and what she revealed has me very intrigued. So, let's get into it right now. Let's go!
It's David Arquette, Dewey from the Scream movies, as you know. Remember, there's only one rule to surviving a horror movie, and that's subscribing to Craving Something Scary.
So People magazine published an interview with Neve Campbell, as I mentioned, probably about a week ago now or so. And for those of you who have not seen her comments, I wanted to make sure and bring those to you. And again, share my thoughts and opinions as well. So let's get into the article itself. The headline reads, Neve Campbell excited to get back in her Scream role. Grateful studio listened to her pay concerns. So in the article, we see the following. Neve Campbell is ready to return to her Scream family. Quote, I've lived with Sydney for 30 years, and I'm really, really grateful to get to go back to it, end quote. The star tells people in this week's issue rejoining the horror franchise for its upcoming 7th film. So I'll stop there for just a second because, again, you guys know how I feel about this. I've talked about it for a long time. I love Sidney Prescott in these Scream films. I personally would like to see her in every Scream film that's made. I look at Halloween. You have Jamie Lee Curtis in her mid-60s. And she's killing it. So Neve is like 50, right? 51, right around there. So, in my eyes, unless something dramatically changes, she's got a clear path for a very long time to still be in these movies. Now, you may argue, well, yeah, but how many times are we going to keep having a Ghostface come after Sydney? And I understand that argument, but you got to remember, she's got kids now. And these kids, if the timeline sticks to what was established in 5, these kids should be, and again, this is not exact, but they should be around 11 years old and 9 years old, something like that. So we're very close to these kids getting into, one of them at least, getting into middle school and then into high school. You get them into high school, and now you got them being the target. So there's always ways you can do it. But I rabbit trail a little bit, but that's how strongly I feel about it. I'm very happy that Neve is coming back to be Sidney Prescott. And also, I'm excited to see some other things that we're going to talk about in a second. I'll save it. I was about to let the cat out of the bag, but I'll save that for the end. Now, I do want to recap the Scream 6 negotiations, because for those of you who may or may not remember, hopefully you remember, if you've been watching this channel, I know you already know, but there was a big debacle in negotiations for Scream 6 when Neve Campbell was negotiating to return, and it just did not work out. The negotiations were terrible. Gary Barber, as you guys know, the studio head of Spyglass, was called out by name by Variety.com, and so we know he's the one that squashed her coming in sixth for the salary. And Neve had this to say about the salary. She said, quote, "I'm really grateful that the studio heard me when I talked about pay discrepancy and when I talked about the Scream 6 negotiations not feeling respectful," she says. When she was approached for Scream 7, Campbell says the tone of the negotiations was completely different. So clearly, it's a situation where Spyglass knew, Gary Barber and the Spyglass team knew they had to secure Sidney because Melissa and Jenna are gone. There's no more Carpenter sisters. All you have left are the Meeks twins and Kirby and Danny. And Danny's not going to be back. He was just there as a red herring and also as Melissa's boyfriend or Sam's boyfriend. So, and I said for the minute that Melissa was not allowed to return to the franchise, I've been telling you guys, like, the only way that they're going to save Scream 7 is you have to bring back Legacy. Sidney Prescott has got to be the focal point of this movie. And sure enough, the studio knew it too, and they pulled the trigger. And it's just nice to hear what Neve says here, because this is, like she says, it was a completely different tone of the negotiations. And I think it's because she had leverage this, she had the leverage this time. Before they were negotiating, but they had the Carpenter sisters locked in. But now they need Neve to save this movie, and that tone was completely different. And they got the deal done that, Neve feels it's a respectful offer for what she's worth. So kudos to Neve Campbell for standing her ground, not compromising, and accepting something that's not fair in her eyes. She stuck it out, and the negotiations are done and official, and we got Sidney back. So that's great news. I love it. Now, in addition to all of this that I've discussed, during a video promo for People magazine, she also said, quote, "I'm really excited to get back in Sidney's shoes. We've got some great cast coming back. So yeah, it's going to be fun." End quote. Now, what's most intriguing, guys, about this comment to me is when she says, "We've got some great cast coming back." No, boy. Now, this leaves the door open for us to speculate and theorize who is returning. Who is this? Are these cast members that are coming back? Now, I think that we can probably safely say the short list of this is Patrick Dempsey coming in as Mark Kincaid, which is going to be amazing if it does indeed happen. You've got, of course, Gail Weathers. So I think Courtney's locked in. I think it's already done. They just haven't announced it. But you've got her. So those are two easy, low-hanging fruit that we can pick off the tree as people that are coming back, who, would be a great cast quote coming back. Then you also have Kirby. You have, Hayden Panettiere coming back, possibly, if they want to continue with the FBI theme for her character, Kirby. They could do that. So, you could throw her in the mix as well. So that's 3 characters. And then who else could it be? Remember, we've got folks out there, characters, that could still resurface. For example, her dad, Neil Prescott. He absolutely could return, because the scene where Dewey in Scream 4 said that Neve has not been back to Woodsboro since her father's funeral, that was cut from the movie. It's a deleted scene, so it is not canon. It was never, it was not in the theatrical release. So, based on that, he's alive. And he's in real life, he's alive as well. So I think her father coming back and making an appearance is also very possible. Um, so when you think about it, those are some more, in focus picks that could be coming back. And of course, just for fun, I'll throw in Joel, the cameraman from Scream 2, which we all love Joel. He did such a great job in Scream 2, great comedy relief at just the right moments. Wes Craven used it sparingly but effectively. And so I'll throw Joel into the mix too. Now, there's a couple of other characters that are more controversial. And they're going to, some folks that are listening to this and watching, you're going to raise your eyebrows in this. But that's okay. Because these are characters that I personally love and would love to see back. And the first one, of course, is Stu Macher, right? Matthew Lillard coming back as Stu Macher for one final showdown with Sydney. I interchange the names all the time. But yeah, Stu Macher back. And we have the ultimate showdown one more time with Stu Macher and Sydney and Gail even as well. So that's one is the Stu Macher character for Matthew Lillard. And the other character, and this is the furthest reach, and I get that, but I still got to put it out there because I believe Angelina from Scream 3 was indeed Roman's accomplice. There are two killers in that movie. There's no way there's only one. It's impossible when you watch it. It's impossible for what it gets accomplished. And there are clues along the way that Angelina is involved. So Angelina would be obviously the dark horse in this, but you just never know. And if it happens, I will be very happy because I believe that she is alive and well, and we could see her come back and, as a victim. Everybody's going to think she's a victim that was now living in hiding or what have you. So they don't realize that she could actually be the killer or an accomplice to Roman. So you could throw that storyline in with the Sydney story. So anyway, guys, those are my first initial ideas of potential cast coming back. As Neve said, we've got some great cast coming back. And of course, the Meeks twins, that goes without saying, could be coming back as well. Didn't focus on them a lot because kind of obvious to me. They're supporting characters, but if they want to keep the Meeks twins in the movie, there is the connection to Randy from Scream 1. That's their uncle. So you at least have some connection to Scream 1 if they bring back the Meeks twins. But I just don't, personally, I don't really care to see them come back. I don't think there's a purpose for them now that the Carpenter sisters are gone. So that's just my thoughts and opinion on the Meeks twins returning. All right. Well, guys, listen, I'm going to leave it there because I want to know what you think about Neve's comments. I want to know what cast members you think are coming back. And is it the folks I listed or some of them, none of them? I just wanted to hear what your theories are. So start leaving your ideas in the comments section below right now. I say it all the time. You have a voice on my channel. But here's the deal. If you don't leave a comment and you don't share your thoughts and ideas in the comment section, I will never know what you're thinking. And your voice is going to be quiet. No one's going to know. So let your voice be heard. And you do that by leaving a comment and let's engage in discussion. All right, guys, listen, that's all for this update, but I wanted to bring it to you. I thought it was interesting and a fun theories that can come out of this. But don't worry, I'll be back soon with more Scream 7 and other horror movie content. But until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.